This is probably the best climbing gym in London. And not only that, it has indoor climbing, outdoor bouldering, lead climbing, top rope, training areas, a garden. It kind of feels like a climbing holiday without leaving London. But outdoor climbing in summer also means heat, sweaty hands, hot shoes, and top outs that feel more challenging than a normal climbing gym. Today, I'm at the Castle Climbing Center in Green Lanes, and the main question is simple. Is this the best summer bouldering gym in London? And honestly, there are things that I loved, but there are things that I wish they would have there. The plan for today was simple. I wanted to have a proper outdoor bouldering session at the castle, talk about the climbs, the vibe, the setting, and explain what this gym actually feels like if you have never been here before. Because the castle is not really a normal climbing gym, you are entering this huge building with climbing everywhere. And honestly, if it's your first time here, be careful because you can get lost easily. You might go for a wall and you might end up completely in another space. The first thing that hits you is the scenery. You are inside a castle. Half an hour before, I was in London surrounded by buildings and city noises. Then suddenly, I'm here, looking at this massive castle. There is this big tower section where people climb, and honestly, just seeing that is worth visiting. It's chaotic, it's busy, a little overwhelming, but in a good way. Because the castle is so big, it can hold a lot of people. So if you're used to smaller gyms, this place can feel busy. There are more people, more rooms, more walls, more movement around you. At the beginning, it can feel like, where do I have to go? But once you go to the castle and you learn the whole place, it becomes a gem. Because you realize I can climb inside, I can climb outside, I can boulder, I can chill in the garden. It's one of those gyms where you can spend the whole day and still feel like you didn't see everything. And this is where the castle becomes really special. Because in London, climbing outside is not always easy. But here, you have this outdoor bouldering area and feel like you're doing something more than just a normal indoor session. It almost feels like a little outdoor climbing trip. Something that stood out from most of the gym is that you usually match on top and the boulder is done. Here, you need to top out. It definitely makes the climb more intimidating. The vibe outside is completely different. People are more relaxed, people sit around more, people talk more, everyone is sweaty, everyone is in the sun, but nobody is really complaining. Because when you are outside, you accept the heat differently. You are like, of course, I'm hot, I'm in the sun. That's part of the deal, right? It really has this beach vibe. The only thing that I think is missing is a cool place where you could just lie in the water, cool down, because you have the sun, you have the climb, you have the vibe. If you have a place where you can actually cool down, I think I will never leave that gym. The outdoor boulders are fun, and the biggest thing that makes them different is the top out. Inside most gym, you finish a boulder by matching the final hold. Outside, at the castle, on a lot of climbs, you actually have to top out. Now you have to stay calm, relax, make sure that you have enough energy and not pumped to top out again. So it kind of makes the boulder more scary and a bit harder than it should be if you just match. Not in a bad way, in a way that feels closer to outdoor climbing. So if you're a beginner and you want to one day go climbing outside, this is actually a really good place to practice that feeling. You learn that the climb is not finished until you're actually top out. The style outside felt more old school to me, more powerful, more body tension, less jumpy, less competition style. Inside the gym, you can find more dynamic climbs, more coordination, and more modern movement. But outside, it feels more like climbing to me because you need to be focused on your tension, you need to pull harder, and the top out just makes the whole climb a different experience. I like old school climbing. I like gyms that have character. I like when the climb asks you to use your body properly. Of course, I still found something not my style. Slaps. But that's part of the fun. The grade at the castle feel fair, but because of the top out, they become a little bit harder. They are still doable. It's just that I think there is that bit of more excitement into the boulder. But also, I climb on the Moonboard 2017, so don't ask me too much about sandbags. My brain is already damaged from the board. I've seen strong climbers struggling there, especially outdoor, because after a hard boulder, you still need to be fresh enough to do the top out. I think the castle is good for almost every type of climber. If you're a beginner, it's a good place because there is so much variety. If you're more advanced, there are hard climbs and training areas. If you like old school climbing, you will enjoy the character. If you want to train, there is a spray wall, campus board, gym area, and different training spaces. If you like outdoor climbing, the outdoor bouldering area gives you a small taste of that feeling. And if you just want a relaxed summer session, this place is perfect. And before you know it, 4 hours have passed. It doesn't feel like a quick gym session, it feels like a day out. Compared to the other gyms, the castle has something different. London has modern gyms. London has strong gyms. London has very good training gyms. But the castle has atmosphere. It has history. It has indoor and outdoor climbing. It has this weird magical feeling because you are climbing inside a castle in the middle of London. And for me, that gives me a big advantage. If I want a board session, I go on another gym. If I want to do a training session, I go to another gym. But if I go for the vibe and the uniqueness, I definitely choose the castle. If I had to do one improvement, it would definitely be to add a cooler area, somewhere where when it gets too hot, I can chill and cool down. Because when it gets too hot, the rubber of the shoes is warming up, you are sweating from your hands, and then you need to project. I believe it becomes really hard to project. So yes, the summer vibe is amazing, but you still need to manage the heat, drink water, find shade, rest properly. Don't cook yourself for 6 hours and pretend you're fine. Is the castle worth visiting? Yes. If you're visiting London for the first time, definitely this is one of the uniquest place. If you're living in London and you want a vibe that is more summery, it's more outdoor, definitely go. If you want variety, if you want to do lead, if you want to top rope, if you want to do outdoor, this place has it all. So you're gonna have a great session no matter what type of climbing you want to choose. For me, the castle is one of those places you should experience at least once. And in summer, especially with outdoor bouldering, it might be the best bouldering gym in London. Would I come back? Of course, every time I have a chance. And now I want to know from you, which is the best climbing London gym for you? And is there any gym that beats the castle?